Did Kayleigh Heckel just break UConn's rotation? Because after what she did against DePaul, it's really hard to pretend this is just a cute bench story.
Prime field.
Look at the box score for a second. 16 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, and off the bench just in 25 minutes on 7 of 8 shooting. That's not garbage time cardio. That's a transfer guard walking into Geno Auriemma's system and basically saying, hey, if the goal is to put the best 5 on the floor in March, my name has to be in that conversation. So tonight we're asking one simple question. Did Kayleigh Heckel just force Geno to change his guard hierarchy? Let's get into it. First, let's kill the yeah, but it was a blowout argument. Yes, UConn beat DePaul by 67 points. Yes, the game was over early. But what matters here isn't the score. It's how Heckel played within UConn's structure. She didn't come in jacking heat check threes or hunting highlights. She gave you hyper efficiency, 7 of 8 from the field. That's 87.5%. And she did it by taking the right shots at the right time inside the flow of the offense. That kind of shot selection usually takes years to earn trust in Geno's system. Heckel is doing it as a portal addition, still technically the new kid. And it wasn't just scoring. In 25 minutes, she was directly responsible for over 26 points. 16 she scored herself, and at least 10 more created off 5 assists. That's not just a spark, that's an offensive engine. And then you add in the 6 rebounds with 2 on the offensive glass. For a guard, that's huge. That's extra possessions. That's exactly the kind of gritty detail Geno loves from him in his backcourt. So when you look at that line, 16, 6, and 5, the question becomes, is this a one-off explosion, or is this exactly who she was brought here to be? Let's zoom out and talk about her role. Remember, Kayleigh Heckel didn't just appear out of nowhere. She came out of the portal from USC, and UConn targeted her with a very specific idea in mind. Stabilize the second unit. Be the primary ball handler when the starters sit. Run the team. Don't let the offense fall off a cliff. And against DePaul, she did that and more. She finishes with 5 assists to just 2 turnovers. Those are trust me with the ball numbers. Now here's where it gets really interesting. She played 25 minutes. Starting point guard KK Arnold played 15. That's not an accident. That's not, oh, the game was out of hand, so we threw her out there. That's the coaching staff saying, we're comfortable with you running our team for extended stretches. And remember, UConn didn't just score 102 by accident. Heckel was a big part of driving that 100-point pace. Even when the starters sat, the tempo didn't die. The pressure on DePaul's defense didn't ease up. That's what a real floor general does. She doesn't just keep the offense afloat, she keeps it dangerous. Now where this really gets fun is when you look at her chemistry with UConn's weapons. Now let's start with Azzi Fudd. Fudd dropped 16 points in the first half, and a lot of those clean looks come because the spacing is right, the tempo is right, and the decision making at the point of attack is crisp. Heckel lets Fudd be a scorer. Azzi doesn't have to burn energy creating every single shot off the dribble. She can run off screens, catching rhythm, and live as a hunting sniper instead of a constant self-creator. Then you look at Sarah Strong. Strong finishes with a game-high 20 points on 7 and 9 shooting. That doesn't happen if your point guard is pounding the air out of the ball. Heckel's ability to penetrate, draw help, and find Strong in her sweet spots, whether it's short corner, pick and pop, or slipping behind the defense, keeps the offense fluid. No stagnation, no your turn, my turn. Just simple, effective reads. And it's not just the top-tier names. Jana El-Alfi puts up a season-high 11 points. That's another bench player eating because the guard at the controls isn't just chasing her own stat line. So now we have a pattern. When Kayleigh Heckel runs the point, the entire second unit looks more dangerous. Fudd gets cleaner shots. Strong feasts. El-Alfi gets involved. She doesn't just elevate her own game, she elevates the 5 on the floor. That's the kind of impact that breaks rotations. So let's ask the uncomfortable question. Could Kayleigh Heckel realistically close games in March over more established names? Because the numbers say she has a case. Start with efficiency. That 87.5% from the field wasn't just the best on the team that night. It was the best of any guard who took more than 5 shots. When you get into tight NCAA tournament games, last 2 minutes, 1 possession scenarios, coaches don't overcomplicate it. They ask, who's making the right decisions? Who's not turning it over? Who's getting us a clean look every trip? Right now, Heckel's resume from that DePaul game says, efficient scorer, low turnover decision maker. Comfortable as the primary ball handler, proven chemistry with your best weapons. And there's another piece that can't be overlooked, defensive rebounding. She pulled down 4 defensive boards. For a closing guard, that matters. Why? Because if your one or two can end the possession themselves, they don't have to wait for an outlet. They can grab it and go. That means instant transition. That means pressure. That means you control the tempo in the final minutes instead of reacting to it. And then you add in the fact that she hit her only 3 of the night. If she's a threat from the deep and she's dominating inside the arc, you can't sag off her late. You have to guard her honestly. And that keeps the floor spaced for Fudd, Strong, and whoever else is out there in crunch time. So picture this. It's March. Elite 8. Tie game. 2 minutes left. Do you want a guard on the floor who needs the ball to feel comfortable? Or one who can run the show, hit the open shot, rebound, and make your best players' lives easier? That's the argument Kayleigh Heckel just started making. Loudly. Here's the bottom line. If Heckel can even come close to repeating this kind of 25-minute mastery against top 10 defenses, Geno Auriemma is going to be forced into some hard conversations. Because the more she does this, the less this is about bench energy, and the more it becomes whose minutes get cut so she can be out there when it matters most. Veterans, starters, established names. No one is safe when a transfer guard is this efficient, this connected, and this clearly trusted with the keys to the offense. Alright, UConn fans, your turn. If it's a one-possession game in March and you can only pick one closing backcourt, are you putting Kayleigh Heckel on the floor over a more established guard? And if so, who sits? Drop your closing lineup in the comments. Names, not just positions. I'll be going through them and reacting on the next show. And if you think Heckel did just break the rotation, hit that like button, sub to the channel, and share this with the biggest UConn fan you know. Because this might be the start of a very real minutes war in Storrs.
Prime Field!